We'll just keep being reborn or being left back and doing this class over until we get it right. Anybody remember that great quote, Buddhist unquote, movie Groundhog Day with Bill Murray, Harold Ramis, etc. Andy McDowell, so fantastic, funny, clever. Yes, I think Punky Tony Phil has put up his little buck teeth and said, global warming, but more winter coming. That's the koan for today. Anyway, it's nice to see you all. In case you're wondering, I got the golden microphone from one of those shows that I can't remember the name of. American Idol, that must have been it. And we're off and running today. It's nice to see you alls. I hope you're warm and cozy and taken care of and not flooded out in California. We're frozen out here in the Northeast. I don't know what's happening in the other parts of the country. There's, a lot to be concerned about. So let's have a moment of silence, remembering all beings everywhere. Just think about all the tiny creatures that freeze on a winter's night, not like this in New England, where I am. All the insects and worms and I don't know what. So many beings, infinite beings in this world, infinite Kaleshas, infinite Buddhas, as they say. Like ice and water, Buddha and beings, just different states, temporary states, same essence or nature. Holding all those in our hearts who are refugees, or involved in shooting wars like in Ukraine, or stuck at borders or drowning in packed skimpy vessels in the Mediterranean, in the South Seas, the boat people everywhere, holding all in our hearts in prayers today, opening the wings of our hearts. I have a message here from our teenager. I said, what are you going to do this morning while I'm on? Don't you want to join and say hello to everybody? She said, I'll be dying slowly in the basement in front of the TV. Don't worry. It's like, oh my God, thank you. Brighten up my day with your sarcasm, irony, let's call it. So it's a beautiful day here in New England. Let's have a moment of silence for all those who are suffering from these many afflictions in our agitated, environmentally challenged world. Yes, what? It's time for the musical set portion? Okay. Oh, mane padme hum, oh, mane padme hum. Come to Garrison so we can chant in person and synchronize and together. Oh, mane padme hum, oh, mane padme hum. In early March, our first residential retreat in 2.5 years. Oh, mane padme hum, oh, mane padme hum. In the woods on the banks of the mighty Hudson. Oh, mane padme hum, oh, mane padme hum, oh, mane padme hum, oh, mane padme hum. May all beings be peaceful. Oh, mane padme hum, oh, mane padme hum. Serene in harmony. Oh, mane padme hum, oh, mane padme hum, oh, mane padme hum, oh, mane padme hum. Loving kindness, well-wishing to one and all. Oh, mane padme hum, oh, mane padme hum, oh, mane padme hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. Chant along or silently the mental mantra. Buddha can hear it, I'm sure. Om Mani Padme Hum Re. Om Mani Padme Hum Re. Om Mani Padme Hum Re. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Peace in the world, outer peace, inner peace. Om Mani Padme Hum Re. Om Mani Padme Hum Re. Om Shanti. Om Mani Padme Hum Re. Om Mani Padme Hum. Equality and equal opportunity. Om Mani Padme Hum Re. Om Mani Padme Hum Re. Including one and all. Om Mani Padme Hum Re. Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 Mommy, pray me home. May all bees be happy, peaceful, well, at ease, safe, secure. Om Mani Padme Hum. The joys in the lotus. Om, the joyous Dharma, Sukha Dharma, not a Dukkha Dharma. Oh, positive Dharma. Dharma of freedom and liberation. Oh, we love it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank God for the Dharma, as I like to joke. Oh, thank God for non-theistic Dharma. How amusing. I feel Tara coming on. What's happening? Anybody want to chant Tara's mantra? I'll make a few comments and do a little guided. I was studying her recently with some of our advanced or senior students, studying the monumental big book, The Cult of Tara by Stephen Bayer, and other smaller books about Tara, the Red Tara book, commentaries by Chakdu Rinpoche, etc. But for me, the best way to study and practice the female Buddha, Arya Doma, the liberatress, the liberator, the guardian of the high ground, the inner Tibet, is to chant her prayers and mantras and offer oneself up to her, quote her, them, it. Them is good for Tara, the two Taras, and two Tade, the green and the white, the 21 Taras, the infinite Taras, all feminine energy and species Taras, beyond gender, all beings Tara, womb of enlightenment, field of illumination, and joyous liberation. The fertile void, Tara, Prajnaparamita, Mahashunyata, the great void, the womb of emptiness, the mother of all the Buddhas, as she's called. Om Tare Tutari Turi Swaha. Offering my body, speech, and heart, mind, energy, soul, whatever, attention to Tara. Let her chant through me, offering her my lips, mouth, lungs, throat, tongue, energy, lifting my hands in prayer, awakening in the presence of Tade. Oh, please join. Tara is the guardian goddess and protector and inspirer of the Americas. Om Dare to Dare to the so ha Om Dare to Dare to the so ha. Om tare tu tare. To the A, so ha ha tare to tare to the A, so ha om tare to tare to the A, so ha oh yeah tare to tare to the so ha, thank you, tare, to tare, to the so ha, tare, do tare, to the so ha, white tara, longevity, purity, tare, two with her seven eyes, wisdom, all seeing, watching over us. Green Tara, green like Mother Nature, like spiritual chlorophyll. Phil. Bodhicitta today. So om tare tu tare. So ha tare tu tare so ha om tare tu tare so ha red tara, passion is compassion. So ha rainbow tara, all colors, all sounds, all sights, all dimensions. Tare, so ha tare, tare, so ha green tara, the embodiment of liberating, compassionate Buddha activity, loving kindness in action. Today, say so ha green tara, I love you. Today, talk to her, talk to your best self. So ha om, you speak the same language. Dig it. So tare to the so ha when we get together, no one is excluded. To tare to the so ha with Buddha Tara, mutual reciprocity, co-meditating, into meditating, into being together. So ha om tare to tare to the so ha om tare to tare to the so ha tare to tare so ha om tare to tare to the so ha om tare to tare. The needle seems to be stuck in the record, so I'm dating myself. Just think how old Tara is. Primordial Tara to tare to the so ha tare to tare to the so white and Tara, green Tara. The two main Taras, like the double X chromosomes of the female, less Y, more double X. So, Singing Tara, dancing Tara, tantric Tara, imaho. So joyous Tara, everyone a Tara, no one a wallflower. So all the different flowers in Buddha's garden. To the opening, blossoming their own time in their own way. Om Tare. Don't force it, don't push it, don't trample it carelessly. So Om Tare Tu Tare Tu So Jetson Palmadroma Chechano, Jidandunga Kun like Habdasol, Himaho. Oh, holy Buddha Mother Tara, open the way. Purify us, purifying the world. Transform us, transform the world. May we become clear, pure channels of your liberating Buddha activity in this Saha, or like bubble-like world. Thank you. Imo, Swaho. Om. Shalom. One ground, many paths. One rootless root. Many trunks, trees, branches, fruits, nuts, and fruits. So that was going. Take yourself too seriously or life ain't much fun. Thank you, Tara, for reminding us. Holy female Buddha Tara, who vowed to always take rebirth as a female form, brought all possible realms of existence and dimensions until all beings were likewise free and awake. Sitting Tara, standing Tara, dancing Tara, singing Tara, Tara, tutare, swaha, it's all Tara. Get on the Tom train, express, yet somehow picks up people at every stop. Oh, I love it. Tara was the Ishtadevata of the 16th Karmapa, at least when I was with him in Rumtek in the early 70s in Sikkim in India. They fled from Tibet in 59. Rumtek Monastery still there in Sikkim, Principality of Northeastern India. The king of Sikkim used to be a Dharma king, a Tulku reincarnate Lama, a Bodhisattva. He's gone now. India subsumed, what do they call, annexed Sikkim. Bhutan still remains the only the only Tibetan Buddhist kingdom in the world. Beautiful, ecologically preserved, thanks to people's intelligence and care, but also the World Wildlife Fund and other global awareness of the green zones on our planet. The Dalai Lama proposed the Tibetan Plateau as one such green zone and Peace Park in his 7-point proposal in 1980s, but the Chinese don't budge. If he compromises 30%, they don't move even 3%. If he compromises 50%, they don't move. It's challenging. I hope he can find some better way during this precious lifetime of his and ours. He has said he's going to live a long time. We'll see. Who knows? But sages and saints like that don't lie. They don't make up shit. Somewhat famously, at least among our circle of friends and colleagues and sanghas, His Holiness the Dalai Lama at a dinner in New York, and I was there, so I know he said this. He's probably said it elsewhere. He, as he was saying, he intended or hoped or could live to 102 or 104, or at least 94. I think he's 88 or 9 now. So Holiness Dalai Lama as we approach the new Tibetan year with the water rabbit. February 21st, Tibetan Losar. The Dalai Lama said, I moved to 94 or 102, 104. And then he looked at Mr. Tibet, Bob Thurman, Uma Thurman's father, Professor Bob, Geshe Bob, Geshe Tenzin. He has so many names. He's like the 21,000 Taras himself of Buddha activity. He said, and Bob, you have to stay alive as long as I do. And Bob immediately held up his big finger, his hands, and started counting to figure out how old he would be if His Holiness lived to be 102 or 104, that Bob had to stick around too that long. He better take care of his precious physical vehicle. So it's a lesson to all of us, and I'm trying to hear that lesson too, and hope you are. This is a precious human life. Our mortal coil, don't take it for granted. In the Saha or bubble-like evanescent world. Everything is impermanent. Buddha said, keep death and mortality in the forefront of consciousness. That could be your main contemplation or meditation. Impermanence and mortality. In a word, death. Not to be morbid about it, not to take things for granted or keep thinking in a childish way you'll do so-and-so when you retire, or after you're done with your decades of schooling, or after the kids grow up and go to college and you're an empty nester, etc. Things might be different then. It's now or never, as always, friends. Now or never. Nowness. Nowness awareness is the unfabricated, natural, organic, self-arisen Buddha within. As the Rinpoche, the late great Dzogchen master sang, Tata Shepa Ripa Soma Jempa, a few Tibetan scholars. Nowness awareness, the authentic, unfabricated Buddha or awakened one, awakenedness within. Ripa. So there's a lot to say about what's going on today. I'm not going to dwell on those things. We're all aware of it. Let's try to do our part, not just withdraw and disgust or be despairing or worse, depressed by the news, but continue to walk the path together. Aligned, pointed in a similar direction, so a better future and better world can be possible as we become better people and contribute to it. Not just giving up or ceding the field to the warring self-interests and lobbies and selfish concerns today. And if we don't breed hatred, delusion, selfishness, pride, and jealousy out of ourselves, how can we expect to produce it in the world? Thus, when we practice, let's say, meditation or praying or chanting or mindfulness cultivation, contemplation, there are so many ways to pray, not just to ask Santa Buddha for something. There are other ways to pray, prayers of adoration and praise, hymns, healing prayers, purification prayers, wordless, silent wordless prayers, just awakening in the presence, the capital P. Make every breath a prayer, as St. Paul says. I don't think that means with Latin words or church words coming out of our mouth every second, but the sacredness of energy going out and going in, enlivening us, and the mutual reciprocity of us in the world, in our outer, inseparable, eroding the illusion of separateness, seeing through the illusion of separateness. I have a whole book about that. Check it out. Make me one with everything. Buddhist co-meditations to see through the illusion of separateness. I'm proud of that book. There's a lot in there, including things you don't usually read in Buddhist books in English, like about the fourth time, beyond past, present, and future, Shicha, the timeless time, the eternal instant, the nowness, divine time, intersecting with every moment of conventional, horizontal, linear time, moving from past, present, to future. Now is the Catholics called to divine time, Buddhism the fourth time, the nowness, and not just flat or flatlands, the whole, three-dimensional, four-dimensional, and beyond. My neuroscientist brother says there are up to 14 or 15 dimensions. The math people or those who are counting, no good for them. Let's go. But still, now is the place, the time, and the light, the life. I remember reading that the preeminent European philosopher Kant, who wrote the Critique of Pure Reason, Kant, or maybe it was Hegel, who lived in the lowlands, but it might have been in Germany in those days, had on his desk one word, now, I think in German. Isn't that interesting? Be here now is an evergreen subject. It doesn't get old. It's like the virgin snow that falls every day. Every morning, a new day. When we learn to live in the now, where else can we be? When we learn to inhabit our body, where else can we be? Even though some people like Leopold Bloom in Ulysses lives at a certain distance from his body, as James Joyce put it so intelligently. So long ago, one of the people that discovered and showed us stream of consciousness in the modern age, before Joyce and Virginia Woolf and a few people we didn't know about think like that. Even psychology is fairly new. It's only 160 or 70 years old. Check it out. 180 years old, Mesmer, then Freud, Jung, etc. We're talking about timeless wisdom. This tried and true Dharma we're enjoying together, 2,600 years old from Buddha, but Buddha's only the fourth Buddha of 1,000 Buddhas who are going to come. The fourth Buddha has been around for a long time, and not just beyond Buddhism, beyond this planet, apparently, as scholars like Namkhai Norbu Rinpoche and others say. Anyway, it's now or never, as always. So be present and accountable. If I could suggest anything to you, you decide. I'm getting a little tired about hearing and be here now and mindful everything, this and that, but it is an evergreen subject. Maybe we just need a new now. The old now is getting old and sounding cliched and hackneyed, but the new now is right now. Check it out. Ride the crest of this breaking wave, bubbling, fulminating, hissing, creative, fertile, shape-shifting. Don't try to surf it on a surfboard. That's way too separate. Be it. Ride the wave. Notice the bubbles, the stream of conscious. Let go into it. Be like a salt doll surfer going out to surf and dissolving completely. No difference between coming in and going out after that. Just, you are the surf. Surf is your turf. Ride the wave of the nowness. Like right now, it's a meditation practice. This breath, only breath, this moment, only moment. Check it out. See how close you can get to the razor thin divine time that doesn't change or age. Not just be caught up in past, present, and future conventional thinking, linear time, where everything that springs up or is born lives and then dies and disappears. But not this dimension. That's why different traditions call it eternal. In Buddhism, it's called the deathless. Buddhists said deathless nirvana. Think about that. I don't know how different that is. Anyway, we can align ourselves with that in this moment. I'll assume you're sitting, but you might be standing, you might be lying down, you might be standing on your head in the corner of the boardroom, like somebody did lunch meditation I led once in Bloomingdale with corporate, like whatever managers. But align your spine with the central axis, not just the turning axle of your energy and then of the universal wheel, but the central axis unmoved from zenith to nadir. Drop that plumb line all the way down to and through the center of the earth, and quote, out the other side is groundless and boundless anyway. It's just a metaphor. And up, feel the silver cord or whatever, the angels pulling your strings, the one pulling all the many strings of its pseudopods, and align yourself totally. Sit in the hollow little straw-like crystal channel in the center of your spine that goes through the very heart and fills all the chakras beyond size, or like in the realm of clear light, of lucid luminous awareness. And just let the breathe itself. You really think you're doing it? Then try holding it. And I'm not advocating this, because we've all done it. We know what happens. The autonomic nerve system takes over. We think we're breathing, but really we're being breathed more likely. And just sitting, just being. Don't make it into a meditation and start doing your habitual thought swatting or trying to change your state of mind or quiet and calm the mind down. Those are fine techniques, but those are a little bit beginner. Here, the direct portal to oneness, beyond oneness and noneness. Kanti Shelgi Buguchen, the tiny, infinite middle way, the central channel, right up through your spine and to the zenith and the nadir, grounded into earth and sky. We are the bridge containing it all. How sweet it is, just sitting, just breathing, just being. Forget about everything. No goal, no aim, no judgment, no evaluation, no report card, no self evaluation or judgment. No one's looking, no one's breathing, no one's hearing, just isness now. What did the master say? Nowness awareness, the unfabricated, authentic Buddha within, or awakenedness within. Nothing to awaken, already completely pure, perfect, aligned, spontaneously fulfilled, accomplished. Nothing to change, in this case, not even a little tweaking or polishing. Just breathe, relax, and smile. A smile is the shortest distance between you and it with a capital T, small I. Tam, T, Fatara. It. Smile. Take you there, here. Don't forget the direct access, non-dual, Dzogchen slogan. Being there while getting there every step of the way, being here while getting there every single step of the way. Nowhere to go, nothing extra to do, what to get rid of. All good. Kuntazampo. Thank you. I love you. Nimaho. Wondrous, miraculous, amazing. Just being with a capital B plus. Super awareness with a capital A plus, Rigpa. Pure presence with a capital P, as Noble Rinpoche translates Rigpa. Not being someone or something, just being itself, beingness, isness. Tathagata Garba, Sugata Garba, isness, Buddha-ness. Wow. Way to go. go. And enjoy the joy of being as meditation. Ah. How's that? Pop. How sweet it is. Nothing more to do, figure out, remember, learn, accumulate, accomplish than just being. Hey, how to be. Lee, you're ready when you're ready are. Don't overthink it, don't overdo it. Just do it, as Mike might say. Just being, just freeing. Seeing is freeing. Seeing through momentary subjective illusions and conceptions is freeing. Awareness is curative. Utilize your own awareness, it's curative. The Dharma is meant like medicine, where the patients take it more or less as prescribed, and wellness is there, imaho. I love meditating. We could go on forever. I think it's important probably for us all. But I do want to entertain a few questions. Please join us in person at our upcoming events. Coming back into that field of intensive residential silent meditation retreats, chanting together, outdoor woods walks and sky gazing and so on in person, like at Garrison Institute in March, Dzogchen Center, and other things that we're doing. We'll keep this online Dharma going too. Any questions? Moderators?
Not yet. I think they're reflecting. Give them a minute.
There's no time. No, that's okay. It's too late to, what do I always say? It's too late to wait. It was too early to hurry. I'm just amusing myself here. Hello. It's nice to see you all and get together. Don't feel like you have to fabricate a question. I'm going to pass the talking stick now.
Surya, could you, while we're waiting, I'll ask a question. Could you talk to us a little bit about, you said something when we were doing the Tara practice earlier, or when you were guiding us around Tara committing to be reborn as a female.
Yes, that's an ancient Mahayana Buddhist parable or teaching tale. You can read about it in my book, Snow Lion's Turquoise Mane. There's even a line drawing in there by my Dharma buddy Charles Hastings, the British Bodhisattva, let's say. In short, perhaps, and this is my commentary, as a remedy or rebalancing or something, or seeding a better future of the patriarchal old world religions, including Buddhism. The story goes that I remember these teaching tales. It's like parables. They have a moral. They have a purpose. The story goes that one day some learned, pompous, arrogant, supercilious abbots and monks were traipsing through the mountains or walking somewhere, and they heard the Tara mantra coming from like a cave-like ledge up in the mountains where almost nobody could get or walk or climb except the birds. And it was so inspiring, and it just, it was rocking their world, and it was their jam, but they didn't know how to jam it like that. And they went to see who it was, and they saw Tara, whatever they say, half naked, clothed in silks and jewels, sitting up there with one leg out and one hand down, praying, chanting her mantra, filling the whole world with it, like a celestial choir / rolling thunder and the sound of waves. And they found their way up there and they shouted out, "Who dat? What are you doing?" And she said, "Oh, it's just Tara up here, Tara mantra." And they said, "Oh, it's a female yogini. Fantastic. You should pray to be reborn as a man and get further on the path, speedy on the path of enlightenment." So this is the kind of old world prayers that people have. And if you think it's old, check out some societies. I'm going to say Asian now, but not just, let's say, how about old world traditional societies with people praying for sons, not daughters, and etc. This is still going on. So back to the parable, to this Tibetan teaching tale. So the arrogant, have I mentioned this yet? Pompous, learned, spick and span abbots, monks said, "Oh, you should be reborn as a woman." And she said, "Oh, you arrogant monks, what do you know? I vowed to be reborn in a female form until all beings are enlightened, not just oneself, as you're suggesting." And in that way, she stamped out that little fire. One of her epithets is the one who stamps Tom on the weeds springing up of delusion and confusion, not to mention prejudice and insult and bad advice. So that's the story about Tara that I love. There are other stories I told some last week about Tara and the Acorn, and a Lama escaped from Tibet being saved by Tara when a bullet from the Chinese rifle hit his Tara medallion over his heart and bounced off. Anyway, that's about Tara. Now, of course, it brings up other questions and issues that we're not really studying today in our short time going into. You might be thinking yourself rebirth, male and female, monasticism, mantra practice, etc. But you asked the questions.
David has a question. He asks, how do we use this story today in our actions?
Well, I think the point of it is like, besides addressing and trying to redress the imbalance of masculine and feminine energy in the world, in the macho, patriarchal, old religious structures of institutions and so on, which, is old world, but still going on today in modern world in many ways. I mean, somehow we have yet, anybody in America can become president, except maybe a woman, a Jew, and I don't know what, a Muslim. So there are issues to be worked on. But that's a little outer and social. It also suggests the notion of beyond like discipline or training, I'm going in ascending order up the yanas or the paths of Buddhism, at least. Besides discipline and training and heart opening and character development and compassion and generosity in action and unselfish altruism, and then getting into like transformation, and then beyond transformation, transubstantiation, like tantric, uh, being rich when you discover a coal mine. It doesn't have to be a diamond mine, if you see what I'm saying. Nothing dirty really about coal or the color black, of course. So in the old world and over thousands of years, this has been come down as like pointing that out, to be yourself, that there's no one higher or lower in Buddha nature, or closer to Buddha nature. Sometimes I think there's no one closer or further from God. Saints aren't really closer to God than sinners. But that's a little hard to swallow, since we think God is outside or up there or like different. But from the point of view of Buddha nature, there's no one closer or further to it or less endowed with it, at least as potential and more than potential. Like all fruits are juicy, even if you don't like the taste, maybe, of lemons or something. But there's juice, and the juice and the pits have its purpose. It's not just reproduction, but it's also the inconceivable mystery of being and becoming. And, as the Zen master said, of course, poetry is useless. Long live poetry. So everything has its place in God's garden, to make it simple. Do we have to mention even lemons can make lemonade? Anyway, we're getting trite here, which is so easy and common for me, at least, to do. Any other questions? I love that story. Again, if you look up the Tibetan Teaching Tales, I have female stories in my books, and also you could find it, The Cult of Tara, and other places. I'm a book lover, but if you go into Google or YouTube or whatever, I'm sure there are Tara animated movies. There's the Tara coloring book, which I recommend, which is a great gift for kids. I forget who published it. Wisdom Publications, Snow Lion Publications, Dharma Publications from Berkeley. Google it. I'm sure you can get it online, or use the Tara coloring book. It has, I haven't seen one lately, 30, 40, 50 pages of different Tara shapes to be colored in by the children and the children within us all. And you find a lot of stories about Tara. She's very popular.
We have another question. Thank you, Lama. And thank you for telling that story. McNevin says, it's easy to become enraged towards willfully harmful people. world. Practice to transform one's own response to such people.
First, I know you're saying, McNevin, and that is a very good and important question. And we could talk about mindful anger management. Think before you react, count to 10, count to 3, take a breath, put yourself in their place, try to see through their eyes. But you could look deeper into your own, feeling level, anger, hatred, resentment, bitterness. There's different shades. Anger is just an emotional energy. It hasn't yet evolved into violence. Maybe you could just feel it. Like juicy. Maybe driving some constructive, creative activity or production, not just compulsively vacuuming all night. Picasso painted his great painting Guernica that I think is still hanging in the Museum of something in New York. Museum of Modern Arts, that's it, MoMA. Black and white. After the Nazis bombed the piss out of the small town of Guernica in the Spanish Civil War in like 1930s, before World War II. Instead of going out with a gun and trying to shoot some Germans or Nazis and getting killed himself, make a big mess, Picasso just let it all out, and it's all chopped up in his pieces of bulls' heads and horns and bombs and stone building towers falling over. It's a fantastic, one of the greatest anti-war statements in the world. So he creatively channeled his arising anger and upset and all the different emotions that go with that into creativity rather than destructively reacting in kind with violence, murderous, harmful, semi or unconscious. So this is an important part of mindful anger management, or more broadly, mindful emotional management and regulation. It doesn't mean suppressing it. It doesn't mean being a control freak. For example, if you're working on yourself, McNevin, then you might try to, rather than looking outward at these people, I could easily say, who are these people and where are they? But where is the anger? And how does anger become hatred, bitterness, resentfulness, feuds, vendettas, and bring us down over long term? Those are some important questions. So might bring your attention back to where you're feeling the anger in your body, and even it out a little bit and feel what you're feeling without being so reactive. Self, other, and interaction, the three wheels of karma creation, and just feel what you're feeling and inhabit your feeling, your body, the body intelligence, the feeling, emotional intelligence, the beingness, not just trying to progress and improve or get rid of anger. So it's difficult to deal with people that you disagree with or don't like, or worse, harm you or harm people. Of course, it's even infuriating. And I'm enraged myself, infuriated about what's going on in the world with domestic abuse, with children and the child sex trade, and so many things like that. But enraged is a little too much. Maybe you have to work on yourself. So you might need a more intense practice like chud, putting yourself into the fire of anger rather than trying to suppress it or purify it. Like Tonglen, Mahayana attitude transformation, Tonglen, mind training, putting yourself in the other's shoes, seeing it through their eyes, and so on. These are really powerful practices. And Tonglen, giving and receiving, equalizing self and other, Tonglen, sending and taking, breathing out the light to these people that you despise or enraged about, and breathing in their darkness and relieving them. Try that. That's an advanced practice. It needs a little grounding in emptiness and openness and unreality first, the dreamlike nature of reality, I should say. So think about it. My old friend Baba Ram Dass used to put a picture on the altar, his altar, with his many, many other pictures of saints and deities and statues. of the people that he had real hatred towards. I can't remember if it was Richard Nixon or Robert McNamara, the Secretary of State during the Vietnam War, and tried to even out his feelings toward them, like towards all the others that were there. And think about who it's really harming, all this rage. You said enraged towards people who are willfully harming others in the world. Of course, there are other things we could do, legal, social, try to improve the oppressive and unequal systems we are part of and so on. But that's a few thoughts. Bring it home, man. When you say enraged, I say, stop and breathe and sense what's really going on. There's no one to blame in the White House, the Kremlin, or anywhere else, much as we may not like them, what they're doing. Thank you. I can see we're just about ran out of time. Do you have any announcements or anything? Miss Menla, for example, Kelly.
Yeah, we talked about the upcoming retreat that link is in the chat. We have the upcoming masterclass on February 18th. And then lastly, a humble request, if you can, we run on donations. And so any little bit you can spare, there's a link in the chat. $5 is helpful to the foundation. So we appreciate your presence, and Lama Surya, always so deeply grateful for you.
Thank you all. Take care. Be well. I bow to the Buddha in your seat. Don't overlook them.